Welcome to season 2 of The Resilience of Black Women Confronting Breast Cancers. Stories that still need telling. I'm your host, Frances Hammond. This season, we're bringing you new faces, new stories, and some familiar voices. All united in one mission to shine a light on realities of breast cancer in the Black community, from diagnosis to survival, advocacy to hope. Every conversation is here to educate, inspire, and remind you that you are not alone on this journey. Let's begin. So, you ladies can introduce yourself, and we will start with the new people because we don't know them. Kia, would you like to tell us a brief story about your journey?
Sure. So I was diagnosed with triple negative ER positive breast cancer in July of 22. I was active duty military at the time. I was the third person in charge of the hospital, so I had some really big responsibilities. I was out with some friends and discovered a knot under my arm. At first, I thought I work in healthcare, so I thought that maybe it was just swollen lymph nodes because COVID was still a thing. So I thought maybe my body was trying to fight off maybe COVID or some type of infection. So it was really, really sore, which was, kind of different. Um, so the next day I decided to put my arm over my head, kind of like a breast cancer exam, and I had a friend to feel, and she felt the same mass and told me that I should get it checked out. And I go, oh no, because you know how we are. We typically figure we can doctor up on ourselves and we're good to go. So I said no. I said I think I'm fine. I'm just gonna wait or whatever. 2 days later, because this was after the 4th of July. So about the 7th of July, I said, you know what? This is weird. Like I can still feel it and it's pretty sore. So I better get it checked out. Um, One of the healthcare workers told me, yeah, I don't think it's cancer because typically it wouldn't be sore. So I said, okay, but decided to go ahead and be seen. I went to be seen. I was told initially that it's more than likely not cancer because I was sore. And I had no signs of it in my breast. It was strictly under the arm. So the doctor said, to be on the safe side, let's get a biopsy. I mean, not a biopsy, let's do an ultrasound. I went to get an ultrasound, and immediately I could see that there was a mass on the ultrasound. Of course, the technician can't tell you what they see, but I told her I could see it, and I knew that that wasn't right. And I was like, I know that there's a mass there. So she went to go get the radiologist, and he came in immediately. Um, and gave me the option of doing either a biopsy or waiting for 6 months because he said that it didn't look textbook and it didn't look like cancer to him, but there was a mass that was there. He said I can wait for 6 months and just we can monitor it and see if it grows or what happens. That didn't sit right with me, so I told him I wanted to biopsy it regardless. We did the biopsy, and since I was stationed in Japan, they had to send the biopsy off to Maryland, which would take about 2 weeks. At this time, my husband was deployed on a ship, and it was myself and I think she was 7 at the time, my 6 or 7 year old daughter at the house. I was in my office. My doctor, along with the department head, came up to my office about 6:15 at night because I was working late. And I knew something wasn't right for them to come to my office, and it was the evening time. So they came back and they shared with me that it was indeed cancer. It was a grade 4, not stage, but grade 4. Excuse me, grade 3 out of 4. It was a 3 out of 4, so it was pretty aggressive. And they needed to send me either to Hawaii or San Diego to go see an oncologist and see what was going on. Um, I got to San Diego and I'm thinking, oh, you know what? They're just gonna go in. They're just gonna cut the cancer out. It can't be that bad because I'm not feeling bad and all these things. Um, she came back and let me know that it was triple negative breast cancer. We later didn't realize that it was also ER positive. That because I had two tumors in the same left breast until a little bit later. So I started chemo within 2 weeks. So I did chemo from August of 22 until January of 23. I also did a bilateral mastectomy where they removed 5 lymph nodes. I did immunotherapy and I also did radiation. 5 weeks of radiation. I had a hysterectomy because I carry the BRCA gene also, and I developed some symptoms from the immunotherapy, so I had to get additional treatment and things of the sort as well. So I had all the things, the whole 9 yards as far as treatment goes. I had aggressive chemotherapy.
How are you feeling now?
So, there's always residuals to the chemo and all the medications and things. So, I still feel pretty fatigued. I suffer from neuropathy in my feet, my hands, just a few different things, that I still haven't. My memory is starting to improve, but I feel like my memory was really affected by it. Um, I've had multiple reconstructions. I've had four breast surgeries. Um, so I think what I was talking to my therapist about prior to this is it's really hard mentally. Everybody sees the physical, but just mentally dealing with everything because it's a loss. Like you lose who you are, and now you have to discover the new you because of everything that you've gone through. So I'm in the state now that I'm trying to figure out the new me. I'm grateful because I truly understand tomorrow isn't promised and your life can change within the drop of a dime. Yet I have to learn how to not sweep my feelings under the rug because mentally it's a lot. I mean, to lose your breasts, to lose your hair, to not know what the outcome is going to be, to have your skin burned, immunotherapy, multiple surgeries, all these people looking at your body. It's a lot. But I'm grateful and I thank God that I'm here. Um, and I mean, each day I get stronger and each day is a better day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. But we're here for you, so you got us. And
Thank
then we gotta say hi to Quilla. There she is. That's Kia. And we have Jeanelle. Those are our two newbies. And you see who's back, Zakira. Yeah, the baby. Okay, now let's talk to Jeanelle. Jeanelle, you share your journey.
Okay. My journey started in 2020 because I was misdiagnosed. I was misdiagnosed for 2 years before I was actually diagnosed in 2022. I didn't have a lump. I had a rash on my breast, on my nipple, and doctors told me I was too young for a mammogram. They told me that it was eczema. It was a milk dud. My daughter was 7. They told me all these things. Until ultimately I acted like a angry black ghetto woman and I got a referral because that's what I had to do. And I got a referral from a receptionist. And when I went in 2020, this was July 2022, went and the doctor seen my breast. And when he seen my breast, he was kind of just like, okay, this is, Um, and at that time, I really didn't notice it, but I kind of did. Like my breast started to get heavy and like it started to change a little, the nipple was inverted and everything like that, and then he noticed that there was a lump. I didn't even notice that. And then I got a mammogram ultrasound same day with an x-ray same day, and he ordered a biopsy about 2 days, probably like 2 days later, and then that was a Friday. That Tuesday I was diagnosed with stage 3 triple negative breast cancer, grade 3. And from there, it was wild because I lost my dad in the process. The same day I was diagnosed, I lost my dad. So that was a wild ride for me. And my daughter was 8 at the time, going on 9. And I was homeschooling her too. So it was like a whole lot of different things. I had to put her back in school so I can go to treatment. I had to plan my father's repast, his funeral, um, and then trying to figure out what I was going to do with work and with my life and everything. Eventually, I did start. So I was diagnosed in July, but because of all that, I didn't start treatment until September. So I started Labor Day, and I did 23 rounds of chemo, and then I had my double mastectomy, and then I did Keytruda immunotherapy. At the time when I started Keytruda, it was just a clinical trial, and I've extended it for longer. So I've actually been on for 2 years longer than a lot of other people. And I've been done for about I think it was like 2 months. I've almost been done with immunotherapy. And I just got approval for my reconstruction surgery. And I forgot to mention too on the podcast, the new surgery I'm getting is actually a resensation surgery that they just recently approved. So I can probably try to gain some type of feeling back within my chest.
Okay,
But
sounds awesome.
but that's it. I'll be in remission 2 years in October, so that's a great thing. You know, with triple negative, it's a scary process.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so now we can get back to business.
yeah.
All right, Zakira, what you been up to?
Hi everyone. So I'm in bed right now because I'm exhausted.
We can tell.
What do you want me to, as far as like what's been new and
Remember,
everything?
we haven't heard from you. We know you had what, a hysterectomy?
Yeah, so I got my ovaries removed in February and they found cancer on my ovaries, so it's actually a good thing that they did get it removed. That was a really challenging time, January and February, letting that go and just I don't have any kids, so just letting go of the fact that like I probably won't be able to. So that was a whole thing. Since then, I've been feeling good. I'm glad that I got it removed because everything significantly, I'm sorry, went down. For those who don't know, I have stage 4 breast cancer and it's estrogen positive. So my hormones was spreading the cancer like wildfire. So once they got rid of the ovaries, it kind of calmed down a lot. So things have kind of slowly been progressively like going down. As far as everything else in life, I've been working full time. I am in school full time. I start internship in October, to be a fully licensed therapist in a year. So I graduate next year and I just got my internship site. So I've been just putting stuff together for school and then work and then possibly transitioning to a new position. So that's pretty much all that has been happening, and then just trying to catch up with just rest this summer. I took the summer off for school to just kind of get everything in order since I was still doing school while I had the hysterectomy, and then I had residency, so I just needed a break. So I took the summer off and I go back in October. So that was all with me.
Well, I'm glad to see
Great
you.
news. Yes.
Thank
All right,
you.
here goes the fake name. Her name is really Zaynab. Okay, come on, tell us, sister. Tell
Why
us.
you coming for her?
Right. Because when we get off this podcast, you already know. Hi, everybody. I'm Zainab. I'm the co-host. I've been gone for a little bit, but Francis did not tell you that I also had a surgery and I was gone for a minute. But the update on that surgery turned out well. I tried to get some D's thrown on this, but there's C's. And the after the inflammation went down, I have some C's, and everything turned out well. I'm still not happy. I'm having some pain in it. I'm feeling two little knots around the area where they took some fat and put um, some fat
Fat crap.
in the cleavage area, and that's where I'm feeling knots. They're telling me that it could be like some fat from there, but I'm still just keeping a watchful eye on that. Aside from that, I'm doing well. I'm things is moving along. Letrozole is not giving me any issues. I'm lifing right now.
Life be
You know,
life.
my weight is down. You know, I struggle with that. You know, I had 8 surgeries in the last, 2.5, 3 years. So things are starting to look up for me, and I'm ready to tackle this and help some women through the organization and get things rolling.
You look so
Oh,
good though.
You do. And those knots are normal because I experienced that too with the fat grafting when
Hmm.
they did my reconstruction where it felt like lumps. And so I got really, really scared. And they told me that it's normal and it should subside. But sometimes what happens is that the fat cells die. It doesn't really take. And so it creates like a little knot. So you might feel even more. It depends on how well the fat takes.
Yeah, he said it wouldn't take because it's nothing for them to latch onto because, you know, when they scrape your chest wall and do the mastectomy, it's nothing for it to hold on to. So he said it probably would just dissolve anyway, but I'm feeling it against the chest wall. And sometimes they feel, you know, I can move it. It feel like little knots. That's the only thing that concerned me. But I'm just
Mine
like,
was the same way and it went away over time because I felt the same thing where I got really, really scared. So
okay, well, I
that
had
should
a
make you feel better.
It does. You know, I asked, well, I insisted that they do a sonogram anyway. I had that done. They didn't see anything. So I'm just going to just watch it over time and, you know, see what happens. But I'm not going to stress over it anymore. I'm done with stressing.
yeah.
Everything else is doing well.
Okay, Tisha, unmute yourself. Let's say hi. We haven't heard from you in a while. You've had a lot going on.
Hi,
That's
y'all.
Tisha. Okay, Tisha. We have
Hey, y'all.
Kia and we
Hey,
have Jeanelle. And you know the rest of the ladies. You
I
have
do.
something in common with Kia because she's in the military. You're in the reserve.
Okay.
So
mm,
yeah. So
Yeah.
how have you been?
Busy.
Yeah.
I'm glad you sent me the reminder because I was sitting there and I got it and I was like, oh crap, I'm supposed to be online. So yeah, I've been running around. For y'all don't know, I'm taking care of my mom now. So that's been a task. So I'm just
she,
adjusting to life with her.
how is
How's,
she?
She's good. She's doing good. We had some appointments this morning and she had dialysis this afternoon, so she's doing all right.
good. How are you?
Bless
I'm tired.
I can
Bless you.
imagine.
I am tired. Like all this running around and up and down and up and down. Like I hardly have a life anymore.
It is,
So,
especially when we still need caregiving, right? And we have to be
right.
the caregiver.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was
Well,
just dozing off on the couch because she was like kind of sitting still. So I was like falling asleep. And I was like, oh man, I gotta be
how are
online.
you doing with your survivorship?
So I'm doing good. I haven't scheduled my, I guess like the second phase of or third phase of my reconstruction or whatever. Because right now, so with my implants, since they make bigger ones now, I'm eligible to get bigger implants because that's what I needed. So I'm just trying to figure out my schedule so that I can get my surgery scheduled.
Okay. Well, since you've last been here and Zakira, guess who got new boobs? Come
I
on,
know they
Tequila.
got new
Tell it,
boobs.
Tequila. Tell it. Tell it. We
Oh, I
want
thought
to
you was
know.
I thought it was you, Francis. I was like,
Oh
okay,
no, no,
girl.
these are mine. Come on, Tequila. Tell it. Tell it.
Francis look like she can give us all a little pad.
Look at
No,
you.
no, I ain't
Well, it
got
looked like
nothing.
you threw some G's on it.
No, no, look, I just
Yes.
actually had
How
a
you feeling?
revision. I feel good. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear you.
Okay, good, good, good. I just actually had a revision yesterday.
Oh
really?
man.
Because so now they look more like siblings than cousins. Because they was looking
Okay.
like cousins the other day. One was a little long, the other one was a little perfect. Turkey. I'm like, so okay, we back in the same little boat. So why are we looking
Okay.
related? We looking related in the chest area. It's been, it's been weird. I'll say that because I wasn't a chesty woman prior to this. But they did do a few other things that I appreciate. Because I did for the ladies who are new here, I did the deep flap. with the skin from my tummy to my in place of my breasts. But I did have like a little bit of a setback on one of them. It never would close, and it was on the side that I had the breast cancer in. So that skin, of course, it's been around the block a lot, right? You know what I mean? Radiation, chemo, mastectomy, all of that jazz. It literally didn't stop leaking until the day before my revision. And my revision was 2 weeks after my 6 week mark
Wow.
from recovery or whatnot. And I'm just glad my little spidey senses kicked in and told me to just do some peroxide. And peroxide make that little weird poppity. I just happened to do that, and I was like, damn it, I knew it was something going on under here. I just because I couldn't see it. And once I, kind of got a hold of that, I was like, all right, this making sense now. So it wasn't anything too bad, but I believe because literally I just had this yesterday. I think they may have did some skin grafting under there because they had room to make some other revisions that required cutting from when I originally had the mastectomy. So me, I'm for the people that are new, I got diagnosed in December 2022. I am ER positive. I was stage 2, kind of depending on who you question, potentially stage 3. I went through 16 rounds of chemo. I did only 3 weeks and a day of radiation, but it was high dose, like targeted radiation. And then I had a mastectomy after that. And so I had my mastectomy in September of 2023. And so as soon as I was eligible to go ahead and do the D flap, I kind of was really on top of it, considering all the things that we kind of dealing with politically with our healthcare. I was just like, no, let me just get this done. And my doctor, as soon as like the 6 weeks is up, she's just like, oh well, if you want to wait a year to do revision, you can. I'm like, no, let's just go on and keep this going. And I'm glad I did because literally right after I had that conversation with her, she sent out a notice saying she leaving to going to another, well, I don't know if she's going to another facility or not, but she's leaving. So, and I really liked her work. I like how, kind of particular she is about how she do. So I'm glad my first mind was just not even thinking about necessarily the healing, but just really not that I'm always thinking about the healing, but like the small steps in between can kind of drag out. I'm just like, no, let's just do everything we can do so that I can kind of go past the idea of as many surgeries as possible. I'm in a position right now where I potentially have to do a hysterectomy. I found out I was a BRIP positive, which has an increase, and it's like a BRCA cousin. It's not BRCA, but it's their cousin, and they require each other. So it has an increase on your ovaries with possible cancer as well. I'm kind of working it out. When I did a little digging, I found out if I remove it, I actually increase myself by double for kidney cancer if I take out my ovaries, compared to the removal of the ovary. The ovary cancer only has a 15% chance of with the BRIP one, but if I remove them, I have an increase for kidney cancer. So I'm kind of right now, like I've always been asymptomatic. I never really had any issues with the gyno area. And so I'm sitting on that for a moment just to kind of, I guess maybe once I do see my female physician or whatnot, see if she and I could just put me on some kind of extra watch type of scenario. I'm on I think Zainab said the same thing. With
Letrozole.
Lupron. You on Lupron?
I'm on letrozole.
She's on letrozole.
Okay, I'm on Lupron, which is that shot to turn off your ovaries, and
Yeah, I'm
accestamine.
on Lupron.
Yeah, and I haven't really ever had too many problems, but I have to occasionally get those stupid white blood cell shots because I did become neutropenia deficient, like crazy. Like I said at like 0.400, and that's my base, which your base is supposed to be 1500. And every so often when I have to get that shot is, if y'all remember, it's a nightmare because it feel like it's pulling on your bones and all of that jazz. But for any of y'all who don't know, I did look at some research with that. There is some cancer issues that come along with too much of that as well, which we know isn't everything at this point. So I've pretty much just kind of subsided to just do it before I have surgery so that my numbers that are already low don't completely plummet and then I'm isolated.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm out here like y'all living my best life. I gained about 13 pounds sitting on this couch, but then I lost 5 of it.
Girl, that is fluid and inflammation. That's
I,
throwing you off.
I'm about to
So
say
if
you
you
look
get to moving
good.
around. It's looking good though.
You still walking with your walker?
Girl, dog, that walker and me was just not having it. I'm
You
so
did
glad.
not have a walker for a
Told
hysterectomy.
you. What did I tell you?
Then
Told
that
you
walker
not to do
had to go.
I mean, for the D flap, you have the D
For
flap.
the D
Mhm.
flap, yeah, because they don't want you to stand straight up. But I ain't gonna lie though, I still can't stand straight up. I'm like, good
take
Lord.
time.
I
You got
know it's so.
baby steps.
I remember you said like even
Them
down the
baby
line,
steps,
you
baby,
try
them
to
baby
sit up.
steps.
Yeah, I was
Uh-huh.
like,
I have
here
a
go my
question.
daughter.
I
Oh,
have a
go ahead.
question for you. So you said that you had reconstruction because they look like cousins, right?
Oh, okay. So no, did a single mastectomy. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I did a single mastectomy because I did the single mastectomy, a full lymph node removal, and I did something called a lymphodemus bypass,
Okay.
which they try to prevent you from having lymphedema in your
Lymphedema.
arm.
Yeah.
And so at that time, I just thought in my mind, like maybe I don't need to do the double
Yeah.
and be completely restricted. So I thought I would just do the single. So then about 10 months later is when I did the deep flap, and but they removed this other breast as
Okay.
well as a part of the deep flap. Well, with that being stated, in my D flap, when they did it, look, I'm thinking that they literally put all the fat in a cup or something to really know how they kind of putting what they putting on you. But they just eyeballing it, right? So one of my
Mhm.
breast girl was her and the other one was her. With them
The
just
reason
putting
I
it on
asked
you.
that is because when they did my mastectomy, and that's why I had to do so many. So the left side, I had radiation, and I had
Mm-hmm.
radiation in 3 spots. So one area was under the breast. So
Mhm.
now what happens is the left breast will not settle. The right breast continues to settle because that's what our body does. So
Mhm.
Right.
it keeps me from being symmetrical. So now I'm asymmetrical, and there's no way that they can get me symmetrical. Even with an internal bra, we tried it the last time, but the for
And you
some
had a
reason
double?
that, huh?
And you had a double mastectomy.
I had a double, but I had the tissue
Okay.
expanders. I didn't do the deep.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah,
I didn't have tissue expanders though. And did you do an implant?
I did an implant.
Okay. Okay.
You're having what I had.
That's
So
what I was
I
just gonna
had
say. That sound like her. I was just
Okay.
gonna say
Yeah.
that.
I
Okay.
had breast cancer on the right side. I had a lumpectomy and I chose to get a mastectomy a year later. So the side I had radiation, I had 16 rounds of radiation on this side.
Mhm.
After I had the tissue expanders, and then I went right into the implants. I think it
Yeah.
was like 3 months later.
Mhm.
So I had the nipple sparing mastectomy, but my nipple died on this side. So I had to remove both nipples because I knew I wanted them to look the same, and I was going to get the tattoo nipples. So I got the implants in, I got capsular contracture. On this one, my breast was rejecting it. It squeezed it like really tight. So this one was way up here. It wouldn't settle. This one was down here. So I had the same thing you had. They removed it maybe like 4 months later. Then I end up getting it again. This is my third implant. This one keeps being up higher. So my
Yeah.
last surgery, he lowered this one. Now is like lower than this one. Now the next one I get, I'm gonna go ahead and get a woman doctor, and they said that they can stitch me some kind of way on this side, like you said, the bra, and make it even, like stitch it tighter to make it. And I told the doctor before, I said, you know what, make this one look like it's radiated, make it tighter, just sew it tighter. I don't care, so they can sit the same way. So I'm going through the same thing. And I always have to adjust this bra
Yeah.
tighter to make them even. It's so
So they
annoying.
just did that to me. So I just had to have, because this left breast was the breast that had nothing wrong with it. So this skin was a lot more, I guess, alive. We'll say for lack of better
Yeah.
terms.
That's good for you.
Um, so it has so much more elasticity in it.
Yeah.
That's probably the better word that I want to call it.
Exactly.
So it dropped. It settled like very like you said. And it really didn't settle far or anything like that. But it was so this other one where all the damage had happened, it reminded me of having a gummy in her, like a the what you all had. I didn't have it, but it was so firm like that. So
Wow.
when they just did my revision, that's exactly what they just did, Zainab. They pulled that side under my armpit in order to lift that area, and it's super
Oh,
tight now
they
over
did
there.
it under you guys' armpit. He did mine underneath the breast, so maybe that's why. Maybe they need to do it on Side, and maybe
Side.
like you said, maybe I need to go the next time. I'm gonna wait. I'm over all the surgeries.
Mine is going up the side of the breast a little. It's going up
So
the
that's
side.
what maybe the next time I need to get a woman and see if they can do
Mhm.
the side and
Mhm.
pull it up, because it still messes with me, because when I look, I'm still like, well, I'm like this.
Mhm.
This is sitting up here.
It's
So
going
maybe if
Mhm.
they do the side, I think next time I will try to get a female, because I've had 2 male surgeons.
Are you all in Atlanta? You?
I'm
I'm
in San Diego.
I know you in Atlanta. Okay, yeah, because it's a Dr. Page there. She the bomb in Atlanta. I'm gonna
Oh,
send you her Instagram. Yeah, but yeah, that's what they did on this side, and this lift feels, because when they made this breast, I noticed that they gave me a fat roll that I didn't have before. So when they went in and they obviously went in and cut that roll out, and they pulled that entire side of the breast, and it made them level, and they were off a little less than an inch, like from one another.
yeah.
But they were obvious. And then they did do what you all are talking about, a cut up the side, like kind of front of side. And I could tell that they reduced some of the fat that was in it,
yeah.
because it was still puffier than even the other breasts. And it had settled, and it still didn't really go anywhere. And in terms of whatnot. But yeah,
Yeah, he
everything else.
lipoed mine out. He lipoed it and then stitched it tighter. He pulled the skin tighter and cut it off and made it tighter. That's what he did.
Mhm.
So they can lipo that out to make it even and
Mhm.
flat, because I had like this fat underarm. I was like, I didn't have that before. And he said,
That's
Yeah.
what I had on this
Yeah.
arm, was a fat underarm, and they went in and did all of that too over there. Yeah.
lipo that out.
Yeah.
And they
I
just
know
Yeah.
did
that's
all of
something I had talked to my doctor about, like that little, it's like a little fat roll. And
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
was like, yeah, I didn't have that. Is it gonna go away? So I know that
Mhm.
they was talking about like, oh, they probably just have to lipo it some more and stitch it. And I was like, okay, well, when we get to this next surgery, I need y'all to do that because it's looking
Is that on your
crazy.
side?
Hmm.
Is it on your side, on your waistline?
Yeah, it's like under my arm on both. I got it on both sides because I had a double mastectomy. And see, like my implants, they still sit really high. They haven't dropped.
How long has
So,
this been? Has it been
it's been a
6 months?
year.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Did you
been a
have
year, but
radiation?
they're not hard or anything. They it just like they sit up here.
Did you have radiation?
I had radiation on the right side.
Hmm. It seemed like the left would have dropped, but be glad, because if not, they're gonna be uneven like mine, because the right dropped, the left won't. So
Yeah.
it might be a good thing
Yeah, because they usually take 6 months
to
to
drop.
start settling. 6 months to
Yeah.
even
Nah, these
radiate.
jokers still sitting high.
So Tisha, you had it on the right hand side. Zainab, you had it on the right side. Janelle, you had it on what side?
Left.
And is it Kia
Kia, I had on the left.
and Tamika?
Right.
That's funny.
I
Right
had,
side is
and I
least.
had the left too.
Okay, I remember you had yours on the left, so I kind of. And
Mhm.
Zakira, where's yours at?
The left.
That's funny. Yeah.
The
Okay.
left is more common.
Than the right.
Mm-hmm.
So
The
even the men
left
that
is
do
more
it, the right
dangerous
side
too
is.
when you got to
Yeah.
get radiation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Trust
Yeah,
me,
it's a lot more tricky on that
because
left
your
because it's
heart
over
is
your heart.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over your heart. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow,
they
that's
have to
interesting.
beam it so that it doesn't damage your heart.
Right.
So
Mhm.
let's hear about Tamika. She's been having some issues with a certain medication.
Okay. Well, excuse me. Um, my name is Tamika. I am a triple negative stage 2, grade 2 B survivors. This year be 3 years. Next month will be 3 years for me. Thank you. I had a double mastectomy after 6 months of chemo. I also had the deep flap. Everything I went through was in 2022. I found my lump in 21. They started treatment in 22. Surgeries in 22. I did the revision surgery in 23. I think that's the only one I did. Yeah, I only did one in 23. And I've been okay so far ever since. I still get surveillance. Um, I'm sorry, I'm on my phone. I still get surveillance, and everything seemed like it's been going fine until recently. I woke up and my neck, I couldn't turn my neck. And I'm like, what is going on? And then it went from I could turn it, but it would hurt when I turned. So I'm like, okay, I know they diagnosed me with osteoarthritis years ago. And I know my mom has had rheumatoid arthritis for almost, I would say, 49 years. She was diagnosed the day after I was born. And then we have lupus in family, ALS and MS in our family. So we have that history on my mother's side of the family. So I went to my PCP. They did X-rays. They said that I had degenerative cervical disease in my spine and also narrow spacing in my spine. So in my mind, okay, never had any problems with my neck, never had any problems with my shoulders. Hands, yes. Feet, yes. Knees, yes. But never my neck. And that took, though, the antennas went up and said, you know what, I need to go to a rheumatologist. And they kept saying, no, you can go to a orthopedic, you can do the physical therapy, the muscle relax. I said, mm-mm. Something just ain't right. I need to go. So I had to once again step on that advocate train and push, 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 push. And they finally sent me to a rheumatologist. Well, when I went, it was literally the day after I had my annual checkup with my oncologist, surgical oncologist. And as she was raising up my arm to check my breast on this side, I was like, I can't lift up my arm. I don't know what's going on. And she was like, you sure? I said, no, I can lift it, but it's in pain. I don't know what's going on. And she said, well, are you going to the rheumatologist today? I said, yeah, I'm going. She said, make sure you let them know that. So I went in. They're thinking it's bursitis on the shoulder. She gave me a steroid shot. She did X-rays on my hands. She did blood tests. So I don't know if you guys can see my hands. You see how it kind of turns just a little bit, not all the way. Like they're not like fingers that would go
Or
straight.
they're going like this.
It's just starting to turn. So my mom's, hers is already like this over the years. So that was one of the reasons why she did the X-rays, because she noticed that my fingers just looked different. Well, the X-rays came back fine, but the blood test did come back positive for rheumatoid arthritis and for lupus. Yeah. So we went over the labs recently. I just had, we went over the labs and she said, you have rheumatoid arthritis. She didn't go over the whole set of labs for me. And when I started looking at it, I said, why does it say positive for lupus? This just don't seem right. I had my pop-up Risty third annual here in Houston this weekend. Of course, me ripping and running and getting everything together. And the massage therapist that we had at the event was about to do a massage on me. And when she started pressing on this side, I started yelling. And I was like, oh, it hurts. And she said, do you know why your back hurt? And I said, no. She said, because your whole back is swollen. She said, from your shoulder all the way to the middle bottom part of your back is swollen. And she took a picture and she said, make sure you send this to your rheumatologist and you need to get in there ASAP. She says only one of the two things. The medication that she gave you for the is lupus and rheumatoid for that medication. She said either it's not working or it's making you worse. She said it's only one. She said, and you probably stretched yourself out this weekend, stress for inflammation and stuff. And I said, okay. I get to the rheumatologist on Monday after she brought me in, took my $60 again. This will be her third time seeing me. She said, well, I don't see any inflammation on the picture. And I'm like, why you don't see inflammation on the picture? Even my nurse navigator was like, no, you need to go see her. You said you didn't see anything. You said my back didn't look like it was inflamed or anything, but you're pressing on my back and it's hurting. You're pressing on my shoulder and I'm hurting. And your statement was, I don't know what that is because it can't be RA because you can't get RA in your neck and your shoulders and your back. And I said, well, that's not true because once you told me what I had, I done research. And you actually can. Actually, the first stage is in your neck and your shoulders. You have 4 stages. I'm telling the doctor this. Well, no, it could be fibromyalgia, it could be this, it could be that. We're just gonna monitor you. Okay. So I'm sitting there in my mind, don't go off, don't go off. Just in and just take everything she's saying, because you already know you finna go get a second opinion. So just listen to everything she's saying. Then we went up. She said, well, since you wanted to go over the labs, let's go over your labs. And I said, yeah, I noticed that it said positive for lupus. Well, that could be a false positive. Why could it be a false positive? Well, you said because my other part of my labs doesn't indicate lupus. It indicates more rheumatoid, and people do have false positives. I said, okay, so my back is hurting. You don't know what it is. It's not rheumatoid. You telling me I got a false positive for lupus, even though lupus do run in my family, and that could be a real positive. And you just dismiss my pain. You just dismiss my concerns. So thank you so much. Thank you. And I politely came home, called my nurse navigator, who is now the nurse practitioner at my surgical oncologist office. And she said, no, ma'am, what we're going to do is get you back over here to Methodist into a rheumatologist here. She said, because that don't sit well with me. And she said, I know it don't sit well with you. I said, that would be absolutely correct. It does not. And that same nurse navigator, she came to my events just this Saturday talking about the power of navigation, how you have to fight for advocacy as well as put your navigator to work, because that's what they're there for. And I didn't have to push her, I didn't have to beg her. She had that much compassion to get me in as for the referral. Now I'm in the system for the rheumatologist at Methodist, although it's in November, which I'm like, that's a long time. And she said, don't worry, I'm gonna email her. We're gonna get you in before that. And that's what I told her. I thanked her for that because that was what she discussed on Saturday about your navigator needs to work for you. That's what they're there for. And so that's the journey that I'm on now is rheumatoid arthritis, possibly lupus. Um, I can't necessarily fully lay on my back on my shoulder area on this side. So I do more on the right. As you see, I'm in the reason why I'm in the chair upstairs in my office instead of normally I'd be downstairs on the couch because I've turned my chair into a massage chair. So when y'all see me, I was just, working those kinks out in my neck. So that's the journey that I'm on. I'm pretty sure um, the autoimmune disease was already in my system, but having the chemo that lowers your immune system, it probably just activated it. And then with stress and everything else, it just attacked it. And that's where I'm at.
Don't you find that as Black women, because we know what's going on with our body, that some doctors could be very dismissive and think you don't know what you're talking about?
I
Yeah,
was
I
just about
had a
to say, I'm
discussion
happy
about
you
it.
advocated for you, like completely. I went through the same thing with my oncologist, well, my old one, which is why I have a new one now, because she dismissed my feelings and she kept dismissing them because I was young and just didn't think that I was like you said, like didn't know what I was talking about, like I wasn't doing research. And actually have a lot of friends in the medical field. I have line sisters who are doctors, who are nurses, and I'm giving my stuff to them and they're telling me like, no, Zakira, it's this, like, don't let them tell you that. Like, I would keep them on the phone with me. Like, I would have my line sister on the phone while I was in the room with the oncologist. But I cussed one out one day. I cussed her out. She called the police on me and like at the hospital. And I never get out of character, but I was just so frustrated because I just kind of felt like how you felt. Like I know that something's wrong and you're telling me like that something's not wrong, and it's almost unfair because it's like, who are you to tell me that I can't get a second opinion or that you can't provide a service for me? Like, it doesn't hurt you to do it. It doesn't hurt you to
Right.
refer me out. It doesn't hurt you to write up, me to go to another place. None of it hurts you at all. So it's like, what is the purpose? Like, and I think that's what's the irritating part about it. Like, it doesn't benefit you in any way, so why not do it?
Right. And I just was talking to several people this week. We just been discussing my condition and just us being as black women, black people, where we have to fight to be heard. We have to fight to be seen. And although you have a degree in medicine, I don't know if you pass with a D or you pass with an A. I just know you pass and you're a doctor. But I know my body, and I know if my body is hurting or is telling me something is wrong, you can't tell me what's going on with my body. You can't tell me stop making us feel like it's in our heads that something is wrong with us.
I'm gonna tell
And
y'all.
and it brings it back to my mom. 50 plus years ago, she was literally advocating for herself, going to the doctor in pain. And they was telling her, oh, nothing is wrong. You got muscle spasm, you got this, you got that. She had me on March the 17th. On March the 18th, she couldn't even get out of bed at the hospital. They thought she was paralyzed. And that's when they found out and diagnosed her with rheumatoid arthritis and polymyositis. But all them years that she was questioning, that she was asking, and they just brushed her aside.
It's just like with the dense breasts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How come they don't know exactly what this dense breast is?
Mm-hmm.
I would always ask, what is it? And the answer I would get, oh, all women have that.
Exactly, even though
That
it's
was
more
it.
common in black women. And
Mhm.
Right.
we had that discussion where in 2021 I had a regular mammogram that came back normal, but I found my tumor 6, 7 months later. So probably in January when I had that mammogram, if y'all would have actually looked at my dense breast, I probably had a 0 or 1 at that time.
But the mammogram isn't good enough to see it for you to get
Exactly.
more. When they saw the dense breast, they're supposed to do a sonogram.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
found out from my cousin because my cousin was like, "You never got a sonogram?" I was like, "No."
Mhm.
They just did that, said it was normal, and she
And
was
then
like,
say,
"I always get a sonogram." So it was
Yeah.
like I was being dismissed,
mhm.
as that was normal. So I'm trying to figure out, why do we get dismissed? We get dismissed, a lot of us, because we're not
all,
really advocating for ourselves. We
all the
don't
time.
dig deep, we're
You
not
know
really
why we
digging
get
deep.
dismissed. We don't have the
Yeah.
complexion for protection.
Mhm.
Furthermore, to add on to what who said it? Zakira, having advocating for yourself and getting a first, second, and third opinion, like I did. Anytime they told me something, I consulted with doctors outside of the United States, and I wanted to bring up something. I heard a few ladies mention the new ladies, and I know some of you already who had ER and PR positive. How many ladies had estrogen receptor and PR positive breast cancer?
Just
Well,
me
I
and
had
Tisha.
triple negative in ER.
Okay, so I was estrogen receptor positive, and then I know statistics say that I think it's like 80% of women is ER positive and 65% is PR positive. With that being said, um, I didn't know that it was a connection to having high levels of hormones, estrogen in my body, and the relation to having breast cancer. So, talking to my doctor friend in the UK, he told me that a lot of us have these symptoms and signs before we even diagnosed with breast cancer, but these specialists, they ignore it. In the UK, he said that women are getting yearly hormone tests, even after they've been diagnosed with breast cancer. If you're on a aromatase inhibitor, if you're in menopause, medically induced, whatever. He said, while we're waiting for breast cancer specialists here in the United States to catch up and admit that there is a connection with us and these high levels of hormones even before being diagnosed. We need to monitor it, and we can still request to have, in combination with our mammograms, just because these ER and PR positive, somewhere down the line, it say that our breast cancer can come back years, even decades later, that we can request to have a yearly hormone level test be in combination with our mammograms. So that's something else you can advocate about. You're entitled to ask for it in combination with your mammograms. I wanted to add that to it, just thinking of the second and third opinions with doctors and advocating for yourself before I forget.
So
But
that's even after we've been diagnosed and had
even after you've been diagnosed,
mastectomies?
because even with us, our body is still producing hormones. I had a full hysterectomy. If I wasn't producing estrogen, why am I on this aromatase inhibitor to
Yeah,
still suppress the estrogen in my body? If I
that's
wasn't
true.
making any at all, there would be no need for it, right? So that means we're still making it.
But it's
So
in your fat cells as well. It literally, if you have a certain BMI, which we don't know what that BMI really is for us, we're not the standard of gold.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So, you still have estrogen that floats within your fat cells even after you've had everything to be removed. So it's still very much so active in your body.
You don't know your BMI, Tequila?
Do I know my BMI?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, 34.
Oh, okay, so you're good.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, well, I would have had to be good to have this deep flap.
Oh, okay. You had to be a certain weight.
You have to be a certain weight to get the deep flap.
Get the deep flap.
So
Oh,
that's been
okay.
one of my latest concerns, because since my body has been put into menopause because of the hysterectomy, like now I'm gaining a lot of
And
weight.
you will.
this
And so
menopausal weight is all hormonal.
Yes.
yes, and so I keep telling my oncologist, like, okay, what can we do? Because I'm gaining all this weight, and that's part of my concern is the
Don't talk to
increase
your oncologist.
because of the ER positive. Although I'm also on a Rimadex or anastrozole or whatever you want to call it.
An
So that's
astrosol you're on?
Astrazole.
An
uh-huh.
astrosol?
Yes.
How
So
you
that's
doing with
part of,
that?
huh?
How are you doing with that?
I so I'm concerned a little bit because I'm like, is that? But I've been on that since 23 after the hysterectomy. But I'm wondering if that's also contributing to the weight gain with the menopause,
No,
and
usually
then
an astrosol, those things, they gave me aches, like serious body aches.
so it
Like I
doesn't give
was
me
in pain.
it doesn't give me body aches, but I think it's worsening the neuropathy because I feel like the neuropathy is getting worse instead of getting better, because typically about a year to 18 months after chemo, your neuropathy is supposed to improve. But I
Not
get
necessarily.
Zoom.
Not
No,
not
some people will
necessarily. I'm
progress, and if you
right.
gain
I'm
weight,
close
it's worse.
to years and I
Okay.
still have neuropathy in my right foot. And I do mean right now my toes are tingling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and you would have done that.
I'm on Zometa. I get Zometa infusions for my bones, so maybe
Yeah,
that's
I
part
had
of
that
it.
too, the
And it
Zometa, but
still
it
made
makes
you
you
ache.
I get
it
that
it
too.
made you ache, the
Yeah.
Zometa too. It's to help build up the
Maybe it's
bones,
meant to help you
but
with
it
strengthening your
still
bones, so it's
hurts.
gonna hurt them.
But
If I
it should
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Zakira. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, finish.
Oh, I was just gonna say, your oncologist is only gonna be able to oncologist. You know what I mean?
Right.
Correct.
They're not gonna know all of that, which I mean, it's fair, fair that you definitely asking because you like this is a consequence of y'all asses and all this stuff y'all done gave me. But
Mhm.
you really are going to have to use your resources, i.e., us. You know what I mean? Other people that you know who are going through things. But your oncologist is not your PCP, and your
Right.
PCP is not your
The
oncologist.
oncologist.
What
Yeah.
you want to do is you want to go see an endocrinologist, which is so crazy to me that that's not even a part of the conversation. When once you're done with all of those oncologist things, they don't
Mm-hmm.
even know what to do. They don't really even check for many hormones, but the one that is going to be increased from breast cancer. And I think it's CA2 something or another. I'm sorry, my memory bad when it comes to acronyms. But it's a certain gene. And then for you, of course, I think you were the one that also said that you were BRCA positive. They're gonna
Yeah.
only look at those things to see if they're inflated. They don't care. Let me say this right. I won't say that they don't care. They're not knowledgeable in that other area of how these things are affecting you. If you having skin issues, you still gonna need to go ahead and pull
It's
up
a
a dermatologist.
dermatologist.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
If
their
you got
specialty
brain
is
issues, they
just
gonna
what
send
they
you
do,
to a
cancer.
neurologist.
And we
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That
yeah.
is
Oh,
their
for an
specialty,
endocrinologist?
cancer.
yeah, they try to buy us into this thing like they're there for our end all be all, but if it's not cancer related, it's not going to be within the spectrum of what they do likely at that facility if they do more than just breast cancer. So I would definitely go see an endocrinologist, and but you will need a referral.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
don't even try to play that game because they're gonna kick you out at the door.
Oh,
You
yeah,
need a
yeah. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Exactly.
It depends on the type
Nicola?
of insurance you have too.
No, no, no,
I
no,
don't I
no,
don't need
no,
referrals.
no, no,
okay.
no. Let
No,
me
I
just
needed a
explain.
referral.
That's not that is not correct.
I
My
Yes,
don't need
insurance,
referrals from my
my
doctor.
my insurance don't need a referral. It
Me
also
either.
depends on the doctor
of
because
Yeah.
course.
I've been trying to get into the rheumatologist that I got now that I'm
Mhm.
finna go to since May. Since I've been trying to get, they would not let me in without a diagnosis that hit exactly what her
Yes,
specialty.
we do. And I
So,
know she said she in California. I know California like crazy, like Florida. It's just on another end of the spectrum. That's where I'm at in Florida. So if you have a PCP, even utilize your oncologist because you
yes.
already go see them. It,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
you know how to navigate your insurance. Everybody's
Well,
state is
since I just retired from the military, so
okay. Oh, so
I
you
have
within the realm of
TRICARE
that.
and I have VA. So
Got
Mhm.
it should be okay. But with the
it.
endocrinologist, do I just say I want my hormone levels checked? Is that
Absolutely. No, you just literally
Hold
tell them
on.
what you told us. But go ahead, Zaynab.
So I see an endocrinologist on Tuesday. I went to my oncologist and told her that I wanted to be seen. She said, well, call and make an appointment. I called them and they told me I need a referral. I said, from who? My primary care doctor. She said, we just need records from somebody. So the only doctor care that I was under was my
I'm
oncologist right
calling.
now. So
Yep.
she sent over all my records and blood work. She's like, oh my gosh, she sent over like 1,000 pages. I said, well, that's for y'all to figure out. She said, we need some blood work and some records. So I'm being referred to them because I'm told I was diagnosed with
Yep, you are.
lipedema, and that is something that's hormonal. You
Mhm.
know, I gained 40 pounds after breast cancer. I didn't know where it was coming from. I was told that my inflammation markers were high. My what is it called? My
my
inflammation.
inflammation markers are elevated?
Yes, elevated. That and my something else was high. I've seen a rheumatologist. They checked me for lupus. 2 times. So that was negative. So I'm done with the rheumatologist, and now I'm on to see the endocrinologist on Tuesday. And that's to see what's going on with my hormones because, like I said, I had gained 40 pounds. I'm down. I got what, 19 pounds left to go.
Good for
And
you.
my body is just like so inflamed. I got this red light therapy machine. It's helping. If you just touch my thighs, if someone bump into me, it was so painful. And I kept seeing these bulges. They was like, that's not cellulite, it's lipedema. But the endocrinologist is going to be able to help me with this because I said, I'm not getting another surgery. The surgery is awake liposuction for lipedema. You know, it's like your upper body is small, but your thighs and your butt and your legs all the way down, you know, it get thicker. So,
So
and
that's exactly what's happening to me right now.
yes,
That's
see an
exactly what's
endocrinologist. Tell your oncologist to give you a referral, and they'll
Girl,
send.
it's
They're
not
going to
gonna
want to
hurt.
see some records. They're going to want to see some blood work and your medical records. Your oncologist can do it. You're going through the exact same thing I'm
so
going
just
through.
let
Literally
them
go in
know
your
that I'm
portal,
really
go in your
concerned about
portal
gaining
and just
weight.
no,
Tell them
just
you
go.
want to get your hormones checked.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
go in your portal with your oncologist and her nurse will
Mhm.
literally give you a referral
Yep.
and you'll get that referral printed to contact whomever you need in regards to the VA of whatever that chain. Because I know sometimes you all can go outside of the VA for some
Yeah.
special
Yeah.
they be real weird about they don't cover right or they don't even got a doctor. So that's one of the reasons why I would start with that. Like, do y'all
Okay.
even got it?
Right.
No,
And
just
I looked up endocrinologists and did my research on them. And I told her, I called them and contacted them and they told me what they needed. And I said, I need my records sent to this doctor.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Yeah, do
Gotcha.
your research. Yeah,
And
I'm
the
not
other
I'm
thing I
not
was
even
gonna tell
playing with
y'all
them.
that Yeah, I'm a little loopy when it comes to these doctors, and if they don't be acting right, I be disrupting their bills.
Yes.
I ain't getting paid.
Yeah.
Like,
I just told somebody that. I literally told somebody they
'cause I
work
know how
for
to hurt your
us.
pockets. I ain't
We
gonna
don't
hurt your
work for them.
feelings,
They work for us. You
and
get
that's
paid
my
from me.
whole
And
thing.
I'm not going to keep giving you money to fatten up your pocket, and you can't tell me what's going on with me,
Well,
or
then
you
Mhm.
dismissing me. You're not going to keep doing me like that at all. At
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like my
Especially
last
Yeah.
surgeon, he just gave me the same 3 implants. I feel like he shouldn't have got paid for these last 2 implants.
you
You did the
should.
exact same thing. I told him throw some D's on it. And I still end up with C's. And there's still this one, oh my gosh. He
And
shouldn't even
that's
got paid for the
something,
last.
that's literally stuff you can
Oh
go right to
boy.
the healthcare plan and dispute. And
Ma'am,
trust me,
ma'am,
they
how
don't even
big
pay,
do you want them?
they don't even want to pay the doctors.
See,
They choose
But you
to
know
pay
what he
the
said?
doctors.
He said to me, I said, so what size are you gonna, put on him? He said, you know what he said to me? He said, well, I have to see what we have back there. No, not what you have in
What?
inventory.
What the hell?
That's what he
so
said
they
to
need to
me
express
before.
orders.
Ain't
Before
got
when I was
those,
Mm-mm.
but we gonna
listen,
get you these.
no, listen, before, he
Oh,
told me, he was showing me, sitting out the size. I said, yeah, I want to go with the size. But these last 2 times, he never even showed me. He said, okay, I know what size you're looking for. But the last time I didn't see nothing. He said, oh, I have to see what we got back there. It's like he gave me the exact same size. When I was swollen, remember when I came on and showed you, I was like, y'all, I got some D's.
And
D's.
they went down. The swelling went down.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Look, I never had any
crazy.
boobs. I said, if I'm gonna get them done, he gonna put some D's on it. And
That's
I got
how I
some.
felt. So I'm a little pissed with this
But
little
I'm
revision
happy
I
with
just got.
man. Look, I'm
Uh-huh.
happy with man.
No, I'm a little pissed with the revision that I got because although I had them titties that was cousins, I was happy with the bigger of the cousins. And I'm like, if y'all gonna fix anything,
You
fix the little
is
cousin.
part of the itty bitty titty club, so we happy
Yeah.
with ours, baby.
Look, I got one good picture. I'm gonna send it to you, Zaynab. I got one little good picture with her up there. She was all pretty, and I was like, "Oh, is this the bitch?" She's like, but I ain't gonna lie, I ain't never had no titties. I ain't know all that sweating came with it. I ain't know all them odors came. I'm
but when
cool.
you were big, you didn't have breasts either to
No,
clear.
I ain't had no breasts when I was big. No,
No.
In the
that's,
itty bitty
that's the thing, guys.
club.
I was
We was in the A
160.
cup club.
I was
That's what
a, I
cup
was
we
a
was in.
B.
The A
I
cup.
was
I was just a
Look,
B cup.
I was flat. I was fat with a B flat, and I was too fat that I had to wear a C cup bra because they don't make C cup sizes that go around for big backs. So I had to wear a big back bra with a B flat titty. I'm like, man,
So
this
you was
is
wearing the padded bras.
Oh
sure, dog. I
my
was literally having to get them little. You know how they had a little in the Lane Bryant, how they had those pads you put in the side. I would have to go and add more because it would just be shallowness all in the chest. I'm like, this is
For
just
real,
dead
Tequila?
wrong.
God. Oh no.
I
So
figured
no.
because you were big that you had
And then look, you know when
breasts.
you big, right? That's what everybody think too when you big. Remember how you used to go to Lane Bryant and all the little shirts had the little big titty line going down the front? I like this. I'm not fat.
Yeah.
I don't got no titties up there. I can't even wear a big girl shirt right.
Oh
Oh,
man.
that's
Can't even be
funny.
big right.
Was not blessed in the area. All I had was legs and butt. That's all I
That's
had.
all I ever had, girl.
And now I ain't got that.
Really?
What the hell called a backwards?
I
Look,
had to get
let me
And
everything
then
taken in the waist. I had to buy a large for my butt and get it taken in for my waist, and then
that's
I
crazy.
had to buy a small top and a large bottom. It used to be
Mm-mm.
so irritating.
Man, look, I was 24 at my heaviest in the waist, and I still had that buckle in the back that people could
yeah,
grab
that
you
the
on.
little open
Yes.
Yeah,
part.
a
Yeah.
little buckle they'll catch you on. Yeah, so now I'm just like, okay. But now I got lymphedema in the arm, so I got an arm from my old body that's fat and a skinny arm.
So
Okay.
Did they
Bishop
give you
did that.
did they give you a sleeve for your
Did that
lymphedema?
Bishop sleeve.
wear a sleeve
Yeah.
because I had that lymphodemus bypass.
What'd you
That is
say?
Oh,
right. You sure did.
They
Oh, you
won't let me
can't wear the
wear a
sleeve?
sleeve because I had the bypass, and so they believe, which who knows, because I got a feeling me and this doctor finna fall out. But he believes that with the surgery, well, it's known though, with this when you have this particular surgery, that it has the potential to open your lymph nodes back up. I mean, Ryan, call Linda. It has the potential to open your lymph nodes back up, and then potentially that circulation can restart. But they make you wait for recovery up to like the 90th day
Mm.
before they actually say what's next. it's called. So I'm waiting to see. But it's right now I got a stiff shoulder. I know y'all know that. But
Yeah.
Is that the one you laying on?
no, heck no. That
Oh.
mug is this everything that's with this is this one.
Girl, you
Oh,
better be
okay.
doing those exercises.
So why
Mhm.
Don't
Or
let
the
that.
lockup.
You
She
gonna get
probably
that
look,
can't
limited
do
range of
anything
motion.
because of the.
I literally can't lift my arm past this.
Oh.
You know,
You can do
it's
the arm flaps, or don't let it stiffen up.
But
I
she just
can't. It's
had that
already done.
Can't.
reconstruction.
It's already stiff. I
So you
can't.
already have frozen shoulder.
I already have it
Oh yeah,
because of the deep flap. I
Yeah.
wasn't allowed
yeah.
to put
You
nothing.
was hunched.
Yes.
Oh.
So now I just went to physical therapy for this arm because they both tried to have stiff shoulder.
Oh wow.
Oh
This one
man.
they worked out. The left one they did finally get to work that one out after like 2 to 3, chance. But this one they wouldn't even touch it because they like, nah, that ain't we not fooling with that. So I can't do anything to it yet now. But I got that, and then I just got that surgery under there where they cut all that excess skin. So
So
after that, I
that's
gotta
another
start.
reason you can't do that.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
Right, like that's a whole nother issue in itself where they was like, nope, we're not touching nothing yet until you finish doing that. But they claim they're potentially do lipo on this arm because it's so weighted.
Wow.
So
Oh.
we'll see. But they don't want to do the sleeve in case they potentially go back and do the lymphodemus again. They put these little lines in you between your hands and they run blue dye from down here all the way through to see if the leakage will happen to into your armpit. And that is what they determine. Those are the veins that they decide that they will reattach to continue where they take out everything at. So they're like they may potentially revisit it again.
Because you had
So
lymph nodes removed, right?
I had all of them removed, and those
Oh.
were rerouted.
You
Okay.
had
Yeah,
all
those
of them
are
removed?
they removed all of them.
They all had cancer in it or something?
None of them did.
Oh,
With
they
the
just took them out?
there was one that was suspicious, but it was the sentinel, the big one
Okay,
that they
yeah,
feel that's in there.
right.
And since it was suspicious, quote unquote, by the time I finished treatment, they couldn't find anything. Even when they took them out, they didn't find anything. It just tested in the biopsy every time as suspicious. So I don't know if anybody else's ER, PR scenario, they
Well,
just like,
remember, I'm the triple positive.
I remember you were, yes,
Yeah.
but like they just be like, they don't want to play the games because if it's circulating, they want to prevent it from circulating back and forth in that way because those same lymph nodes go into your collarbones and all that jazz.
Yeah, I
Mess
didn't
up.
have the sentinel one removed, so
Yeah, that's the one that
that's
was
the
the one that
ones
was
that will give
suspicious.
you the lymphedema, the
And I ain't
sentinel.
even gonna lie to y'all. When I found out I was diagnosed, I want to say within 2 weeks, I started to feel burning in my armpit.
Really?
Oh wow.
That I was nervous, like I could feel this cancer moving. Like I thought I was crazy. I literally started to feel burning happening in my armpit. So I believed that there was some activity going on and I had never experienced it before. And so that's when they were like, okay, yeah. And I had two opinions and they both came back suspicious in that sentinel node. So yeah, we'll see. I'm hopeful. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm hopeful.
Well,
Everything else.
you do enough research, so I give it to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm still thinking about those pots. Yeah. Yeah, remember Tamika and Tequila when we were talking about the cooking pots? Yeah, I was online looking to see which pots didn't have stuff in them.
Oh,
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. And the clothes, yeah, don't worry.
All some
I
stuff you
took it
can
to
all kind of
heart. All those conversations that we
I
had
was gonna
about the
ask you,
clothes.
is it Lakeila or Akia?
Oh, who me?
Yeah,
Oh,
Just
it's
call her
Lakeil.
Kia.
It's
Kia.
Lakeil, but I go by Kia.
Kia. Do you have any children, daughters?
I do. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
you didn't see her daughter giving her a kiss?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, you saw her? Yeah, I have
Uh-huh.
a bonus daughter that's in college that's 19, and then I have a 10-year-old.
Okay. Okay.
And
So that's
Jeanelle
something that
got her 11-year-old.
If I would keep that in mind with her being 10,
Yeah.
something that we don't think about early enough, because I think it's just simply because we haven't been indoctrinated in the healthcare game. An endocrinologist also can be helpful for her at an early age.
Okay.
So
How?
the things that I'm finding out that I'm got going on with I had, like I said, low white blood cell count. I had high hormones. Like my hormones was so high, like Zainab said, like literally because I had weight loss. I noticed how much they changed before I even knew I had cancer. But that it just doesn't make sense to me that that panel is not in with a PCP. That's how off the Richter scale that my information was once I went to go look back at it compared to where I'm at today. But my point that I'm saying is that as we're finding out these things for ourselves, you could put, I think it's important to impress that upon our children so that they can start to learn things, because already I found out one of my kids has low white blood cell count like me.
Okay.
It's literally hereditary. Didn't even know it. It's
Oh,
not, she's not in any danger zone or anything like that with it. And it's not even enough for them to, call it a thing, but they've seen hematologists already, because
Okay.
I'm like, if I got this and this is my DNA, let me make sure, everybody else is okay. I
correct.
took all of my girls to see an endocrinologist. My 17-year-old got PCOS.
Oh,
She knew
wow.
it. She already knew she had it. She actually kind of was like, I've been doing research. I want to blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? She found out she got PCOS and literally had the test. But her primary healthcare physician, whom I see very regularly, we on first name basis, was like, I could refer you, because I don't study that area.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we heavily rely on that PCOS, I mean, that PCP for so much information, but their data is limited as well. One of my kids had a seizure and we didn't know what the hell was going on. And she had a tumor on her brain right after I'm going through all of the stuff I'm going through and I'm starting a new job. So we had to go through rheumatoid, I mean, the whatever the hell, I can't never think of the doctor, rheumatologist. We
Mhm.
had to go see the hematologist. We had to go see the, neurologist. We had to go see everybody. And I'm just like, y'all need to tell me something. And they kept thinking it was sarcoidosis,
Oh,
sarcoidosis,
Sarcoidosis.
sarcoidosis.
because you
Sarcoidosis.
can get that on your brain. It's
Mm-hmm.
normally
It
in your
attacks
spine.
any part of the body.
Yeah,
My
Yes.
well,
mother
they
had
say
it
it
on her
normally
skin.
shows. Yeah, they say it normally shows up, I guess, for kids in their spine, but that it
Mm-hmm.
could be a thing that was in their brain. So I just had to get her checked to see where she sat on is what the test they call it is an ANA, just to see if there's any autoimmune issues
Yes.
that's going on in her body. And
Yeah.
she resulted at like a 1. So it was so low that it was too low to call anything
Okay.
anything. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
again, my point is that when we know that we're dealing with this type of stuff, and you just mentioned that you were BRCA, like I'm not saying now. Let me tell you this: there's some trickery with this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would never want to prematurely have BRCA put in my kid's medical file.
Right.
Right. Right.
Never do that, because anything you put in that file is going to end up in insurance and end up in life insurance and end up in all of those people that work together. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you will pay just like you didn't had to file a car insurance claim. You're going to pay out the ass for it. Right.
Right.
So I would be very strategic about what it is that I choose to test for and where that information is going to be disclosed. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I would
Right.
be very specific with a 10-year-old. You know what I mean? Like I have to
Right.
be very strategic with mine, and I'm BRIP1 and all of my siblings are BRIP1. But I'm not afraid to get my 17-year-old tested yet. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I'm gonna have her go through the motions of seeing a gynecologist, and let's do those things, you know what I mean, that come with coming into womanhood, and
Mm-hmm.
let's walk that, with us just having this conversation to some degree, but because you have to be cautious about what goes in those
Right.
files in some capacity. But
Mm-hmm.
with you being BRCA, I would definitely want to research, like, what is a way for me to walk this path in some sort of a discreet fashion. And there are ways. You see neuropathic physicians. that don't align with Western. You know what I mean?
Medicine,
And
right?
sometimes you may come out of
Yeah.
pocket in another way, but I just really think that that's something that I wish someone would have shared with me. Like, I'm pissed, even still, that you never had me see an endocrinologist. You know what I mean? Ever? Like you
See,
said,
now
Zaynab,
that's what
like
I'm
that's
thinking
We're
about
crazy.
just
now.
figuring it out on our own.
I'm not.
I'm like you. I do a lot of research for myself, and
Yeah.
especially because I was writing my book, I came across information, and and I consult with my doctor friends outside of the United States about
Mm-hmm.
everything. So they're
Mm-hmm.
telling me these terms, so I'm looking up stuff and sharing it. So yeah, we you have to look up things for yourself because they're not going to
Yeah.
tell us. And I see so many times when I'm asking my doctor questions, and they go out and leave us in that room for 10, 15, 20 minutes. They're going to go look in a book. They don't know everything.
Legit.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
They
they're going to go
don't
look at
know.
that
That is
damn book or on the
They
computer
don't
to
know.
look it up.
That's
They
right.
don't have the
Put it in the
answer. They
formula.
don't
Yeah.
remember everything they learned.
Not at
it's
all.
told
And
you
Sometimes
when
we
they
I
don't
go
don't
even
in there
know
with
know.
my
if they
notepad and
pass.
I'm telling them, look, I
We
read this, and I don't care what they say. Google
the
have so much
thing is
information on
we
there.
don't know if they pass with a D or A
Right.
plus to
Or
get
chat
that degree.
GPT. Look, or chat GPT. We don't
Listen.
know. Because
They
if you
just
ask
got
me,
the
I'm a damn
degree.
physician. If you
Right.
ask me, I'm a physician. As
Yeah,
far as
when
I'm
I walk
concerned.
in there, yeah, I'm Dr. So. Because
All
listen,
right. Because it's so funny.
I done
Look,
did
when I
extensive research, and I know what I'm talking about. I done consulted with other doctors, but they don't know that. They be like, wait a minute,
exactly.
how she know this stuff? They don't know.
Look, my doctors was surprised that I knew what this. I don't know if you all have seen it. It's called colloidal silver. I don't know if
Right.
you all have ever used that. You see this?
Yeah.
Little Well, it's called colloidal silver. It's old school. If anybody, Nana, somebody like me, like, yo, put you some colloidal silver on that scar or whatever this may be. I saw this. I said, is this colloidal silver tape? All of them were sitting there like, how the hell does she know? And my one PA asked me, how do you, but she know me. She like, how do you even know what that is? I was like, girl, I just saw it and I'm just amazed that you all are trying to implement that in this hospital facility. This is a NICU facility that's blah blah blah. They sitting there looking like, what? But I've learned that, over time that I had a cousin who actually passed prior to me going into treatment. I had got diagnosed and I didn't know because this woman was talking to me like how we sitting here talking now. But she was on her deathbed. She was in hospice and I didn't know because I wasn't close to her, but she just wanted to share her experience with me about her coming on her second round of treatment. Well, she was just like, she didn't really ask a lot of questions and she kind of followed the script. Well, the medicine damaged her heart. You know what I mean? So where when it came again, she couldn't even have treatment because of how much internal turmoil her body had gone through.
Oh man.
And even when I talk to other, people sometimes, and I'm like, I'm super glad when people actually know what the hell they had. I be talking to people and
Thank you.
they like,
That's
I
what
I
had
had breast cancer.
some kind of
Look, I
cancer
had
on
breast
my
cancer. Well,
breast.
what type of cancer? It was breast cancer. Well,
And
what
I'm like,
type of
what
breast
type of breast
cancer?
cancer? Like,
It was breast cancer. I'm
right.
like, Lord have mercy.
I'm very like, I
Mm-hmm.
like that when people are really aware of what's going on with themselves, especially as a woman and being a woman of color. Like, you don't really, what they say, we don't, if anybody, excuse my French, if anybody is gonna fuck around and find out, it's gonna be us.
Exactly.
So why is we playing this game? So
Right.
I run into people who literally don't know their diagnosis, don't know the medicine they was on, which is I understand if you don't know the name. Now them names be crazy.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But don't know what their next treatment is. Don't really, realize that, what they don't know nothing. And they haven't even been back for checkups. So you just out here on a limb. You out here
Stay
on
And
outside.
that's why we all have to advocate for this,
They're
to
That
outside.
teach
part
the
Mhm.
right
people.
there.
Yeah.
Because
Because
It's
I
they
know
don't,
a triple negative
because
survivor
before
right
all of
now
us were
that still
diagnosed,
does not get
we
surveillance.
only knew one word,
Mm-hmm.
breast cancer.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That was
But
it.
I've
We
that's
also
true.
didn't know
learned,
all about the subtypes and
Mm-hmm.
everything
yeah,
until you got the disease.
That's
Well,
that's
true.
that's
true.
true.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's
true.
That is
true.
true.
That's true.
But I
Well,
do
I know
know
about
though,
breast cancer because my mom and grandmother both had it. They died, but I
yeah,
didn't know, all these terms and all this stuff. When my grandmother had it, my other grandmother and my aunts, they took care of her. We were younger, so we didn't, we wasn't taking care of her. We wasn't her caregivers.
Right.
And when my mother had it, it happened so fast, and she tried to hide it from us. So, we didn't have
Mhm.
time. So she just took the standard care. The doctor told us, oh, y'all don't have to worry about it. It's not the kind that's hereditary. She took the genetic testing. So we went on about our lives. I was the only one old enough to get a mammogram. My other two sisters were younger. They wasn't old enough. I got the mammogram. They put the little titanium clip in me, and years later is where my breast cancer came back right near that clip that I had 6 years
Where they thought
later.
was suspicious. Oh,
Yes,
wow.
that little suspicious area. Yes.
Mhm.
And that's when I delve into research, after getting diagnosed, and I learned all these things. But had I known these things then, maybe we could have done more, for my mother, preventative
Preventative
measures,
too.
after my
Right.
grandmother had it. But I was young, I didn't know, we was just,
Mhm.
I was outside.
So
And I get that.
now that everybody knows about it, what are we all doing to advocate for this? What
Well,
have
that's what I was just gonna say, that I didn't want to, I've also learned that I have to reserve some things that I think and want for somebody else to myself, because just as many people that I've found or run into, or been introduced to, whatever the case may be, that didn't, or that don't know what they want. I noticed that some of them don't care. They just glad for it to be over with.
about the
Yeah.
money?
Yeah.
They don't wanna talk
Yeah.
about it, they don't wanna revisit it. It's a lot of, and I had to sit back for a minute one day and was just like, "Now who wouldn't wanna know, and why wouldn't." I said, "You know what? I get it. This is a big, big animal to
Yeah.
carry around to know, and you can't unlearn what you know." You know what I mean? You gotta
Yeah.
make peace with it in a different way.
Mhm.
And some people really do feel like their life is being robbed from them
Mhm.
because of this situation, and I felt like that too. You know what I mean? I told somebody recently, who's in our group, who isn't here today. I was like, "Girl, I had a funeral for this other life 3 days in my mind. A whole funeral for that other life in my mind. The
Mhm.
body I had, the weight I had, the everything I had. I had a funeral for about 3 days, and then I was just like, you know what? Okay, so what is it gonna look like moving past this? Because I mean, in reality, when I went and looked back at my blood work, I was like, I was out here on the limb anyway. What the hell am I mourning and mad about that damn body for? Girl,
Right.
all of my numbers was in the red.
Mhm.
Oh
High
no.
cholesterol, high fat back, it was fat everywhere. Okay, fat and estrogen was everywhere in my chart. So, and I was pre everything you could be pre of, and then I was bleeding like I was being gutted like a fish every month. I was sick. I just didn't get a diagnosis.
Mhm.
So I had to recognize, literally, like, what am I holding on to for real?
So you
And
Mhm.
so,
advocate
like,
by,
yeah.
Tequila, you're advocating by telling people about this disease then.
Well, and it's not only that, it's just a matter of, like, really, really pay attention to where you came from. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I'm a
but I'm
true
saying
believer.
you tell people that you're not ashamed of what you've gone through. Let's put
No,
it that
because
way.
that's my whole point, is that if you
Okay.
really think about it and you're very intentional in what it is that you want and what it is that you came from, most people, if we sit back and think about how many people are affected from autoimmunes and things like breast cancer, it's because their life wasn't serving you,
Mhm.
because that life wasn't good to you. You know what I
Correct.
mean? You was likely overworked, overdrained, over kid, over husband, over all of that shit. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And now it's just coming to a head. So I
Mhm.
just really say, be intentional in what it is that you want, but really be paying attention to what you think you're leaving behind, because you can possibly gain so much. My husband was just asking me the other day, he was like, well, how do you feel with your new body? Does it make you feel, have more confidence? And I was like, you know what? The confidence was never a thing. I could have had one leg and the right arm that worked and my good brain, and I would have been fine, because I was just happy to be here with my kids, right? But what does feel good is to finally be so intentional about my health, because I
Mhm.
pay so much attention to it now. You know what I mean? To be so informed about so many things that's going on with me and not everybody else, that
Mhm.
finally my outside matches how my inside feel. This is
Yeah.
the first time in my life that they go together. Don't get me wrong, I was always cute, fat, all cute, okay? But that we didn't go together, because my back was hurting when I was standing up. I stood up too long, my feet
No,
were
my
sleep while I
neck
was
like
sitting on the
this
toilet.
hurt.
girl, everything hurted. So this is the first time in my life, but I know that, and it's not like it's accidental. It's because I intentionally invested finally in myself.
Right.
And if it hadn't been for having breast cancer, I'm not gonna lie. I was working 14-hour days in corporate America, letting them dog walk me. You know what I mean? I'm doing what I gotta do because I'm like, oh, it's my family. I gotta take care of my family. I wasn't even in the streets because I forget I could go outside when it's dark. You know what I mean? Because I was so focused on all the wrong things. So, like, that's my
So
thought process.
breast cancer is kind of like a wake up call. Take care of
It
you, boo.
Yeah.
It
Definitely.
1000%.
is.
Right.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It
It
changes you
sat
for
me
the
down.
better, and it changes you for the better. I always say that too, because I look at
1000%.
my
It
life
was a
where I was
setback.
before and where it is now, and it's
Okay,
like
so Kara, what are you doing to advocate about breast cancer? Because it's not always about money. It's about your
Mhm.
mouth
Mm-hmm.
and what you're telling other people, like if you're encouraging to get a mammogram, like Zainab said, the genetic testing, all of these things. Is that your goal? Is that what you're doing?
that's actually my goal in therapy. So I want to be a therapist for people with terminal illness under 40, and I want it to be with not just like just the patient, but like with the families, because like everyone gets affected, like everyone around you,
Yeah.
like your circles. And I just think it's really important. And for me, I know that I didn't really feel understood until I, had a community of women that I felt like, because I'm current, like I hear a lot of survivors in the on the podcast, and I'm so grateful because it gives me hope, but I also like kind of feel very alone because I feel like I meet a lot of older women who've passed it and I'm still in it, and I'm 34.
Right.
So it's like I just feel, and then I have such a high stage. So it's like one of those things that it does feel discouraging sometimes. So that's why I wanted to get into, to become a therapist for women under 40 or people under 40 with this, because I know how challenging it is to like talk to people and for people really to not understand what you're going through. And like you were saying earlier, Keela, you were talking about the how you have to pretty much readjust and like, you know, go through this whole new form of life, and having to like understand like this new part of your life, and being young and like having friends who go to the club, or having friends who have kids, or having friends that can do all of these things that I no longer can do. Like it is frustrating, like to try to still hang out and be apart but not really feel like you are connected to those things anymore. So
Mhm.
um I think that that's me advocating, is by finding other women like me and having conversations. And my friends and my sorority sisters, like they've all changed their lives because of what is happening to me, so it was kind of a wake up call to them too. And they've kind of been on this health journey with me, like if I see anything, we send each other stuff, like different herbs or different tinctures or different like holistic methods and things like that. So I think that's where my advocacy comes in, is more so wanting to be an advocate for women that don't necessarily, I feel like, fit the mold of like what breast cancer like looks like.
Yep.
So that's kind of like what the space that I'm in.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
Kia,
girl,
what
I feel
what
so
what is
bad.
what are you advocating for with
So
your journey?
I feel like, I don't know if you guys believe in God, but I do. So I'm gonna say I feel like God sends people to me.
Mhm.
And so I feel like what I've been able to do is to kind of help them through their journey. Because when I was diagnosed in 22, I had nobody. I had nobody to tell me, like, you may experience this, or this may happen to you, or that may happen. And I was terrified of Google, because when I first tried to Google stuff, it was worst case scenario, and not
Mhm.
everything fit my story. So I stopped, because mentally I needed to be in a space where I was ready to fight and could only see positive things. So I've been able to go back and help women. I tell them the truth, or I tell them, this is what happened to me. This may not be what happened to you, because someone shared their radiation story with me in the beginning, and she didn't say like, oh, I'm only getting radiation, I have long-term radiation or whatever. She said, oh, if you get radiation, it's the absolute worst. And then she showed me pictures of how bad her skin was burned. She told me how painful it was and all of these things. So it planted a seed of fear for me. And so I promised myself from that moment I would never do that to anybody. So I'm very mindful of what I share, how I share, and I'm very honest, but I'm honest in a very mindful way. So that's kind of how and then even maybe not as much on my Instagram, but more so on my Facebook, I shared a lot of, not a lot, but I shared some of my journey through chemo and where I've, come and different things like that. And I also tried to share like the positive side of things and not necessarily the days that I was just down or I wasn't feeling well or whatever, because somebody behind me may have to go through that and I don't want to instill that fear, because chemo was tough. It was very tough, but I want them to be able to travel their own journey, have their own story, but be able to try to help them in a positive way.
Okay, that's good. All right, Tisha, what are you doing? What are you doing, Tisha?
So I mean, I've been slacking a little bit with my, first of the month little posts that I be making. Um, but usually like I'm posting on Facebook and Instagram telling people, be aware, check your breasts, advocate for yourself. I'm also like sharing my journey. Like I shared a lot of it on my Instagram. But there have been people that have come to me with questions because they feel like they might have something. I'm like, you need to see a doctor. I'm like, I share my journey, but at the end, I'm always like, you need to see a doctor, advocate for yourself. If you feel like something's not right, speak up. And it's like, because if you don't, they're not going to care. They're just going to brush you off and go to the next person. So I'm like, you have to speak up for yourself. Like I talked to my family and try to encourage them to get checked and just keep a lookout for their kids, like my immediate family, because like my brother has daughters, my sister has a daughter, they have sons. So it's like, when they get older, get them checked, stay on top of that, so it can be prevented if possible. But I just try to tell people and help people to stay encouraged.
Okay, and Tamika.
I'm sorry, ladies, I have to go, but thank you so
Okay,
much for welcoming me. You ladies are
well,
all
we'll
so
be back
beautiful.
next, what,
Next month.
Thursday?
Okay,
Next month.
okay,
It's always the
okay,
second Thursday of the month.
okay. I'll be
Thank
looking
you.
forward to it. Thank you so much.
You're
You're
so welcome.
welcome.
Thanks for sharing.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Same too,
Bye.
guys. I am tired and hungry. I'm about
Yeah,
to
we
go. I've been
already
trying to
told you
hold
going to
on.
sleep. Anyway, Tamika, what are you doing to advocate?
Yes, I advocate for therapeutic wellness after breast cancer. My advocation is what's next? Okay, you've had breast cancer, you've had the treatment, you had this, the new normal. What is next? So that's where with my organization we do the paint through your pain, the pop-up breasty beauty bar, the meet the author events. Those things are what is next now after cancer. And how do I stay mentally, physically, emotionally better or getting better after cancer? So that's what I advocate for.
And Jeanelle.
Um, well, I advocate online. I feel like I'm a content creator, so I've been sharing my story from the beginning till now. But politically, I work with I actually am a breast cancer lobbyist for my state, and I'm a legislative liaison. So I am my main focus is to make sure people from the hood are able to have Medicaid and able to get this testing. So that's really my advocacy, making sure our people have the access to all the life-changing disease tests and everything.
That's awesome.
Okay,
Zainab, you're next.
yeah.
I don't do nothing.
Anyway, you
Um,
do something. You have an organization.
no, I'm
It is.
joking. I have an organization. It's called Melanin Breast Cancer Alliance. It's for minority women of color and other minorities. We provide necessities to women of color, hair hats, wigs, care packages, whether it be for radiation, chemotherapy, or just being newly diagnosed, gas cards to get you to radiation, chemotherapy, and some other things. It's on a website. You can see that on my Instagram page. I wrote a book as well. It takes you through my journey of breast cancer and also
Here's the book.
it's called Heir to Breast Cancer, and
Here's the book. Okay.
okay, and
All
it
right.
tells you the basics on breast cancer, and it lists different resources, other Black organizations that also offers resources. What else? I do this podcast, and I also advocate on social media.
Mhm.
Okay. And then my advocacy is this podcast. And it started from my journey as I sat there and God was like, I had to figure out a way. How am I going to tell this story? I needed to tell it because I never expected that to be me. I never expected this to be my journey. So I started this. I used to journal it. And then I decided I wanted to put a voice behind what I'm going through. So that's how this unexpected detour got started. And that's why it's called that, because that detour was unexpected at the age of 60 after having a mammogram for 20 years. And that's why I said that about the dense breast, because that's what it would always say, that it was dense breast. But nobody ever knew anything else. So, but that is how I did it. So we're all advocating through our voice
Oh yeah.
and by telling, which is good. We don't have to collect money to do it. We just bring the voice to it, to your community, like Jeanelle said, the hood. Tequila, who
Make sure
she
my
meets, she talks. What'd you say?
I gotta make sure my people eat.
Exactly. Tanika has her pop-ups. Tisha, she's making sure that people that she knows, especially her family, they get chat, especially when you got little kids and stuff. Doesn't the BRCA gene run in your family too, Tisha?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
And I don't know
And
if
then,
y'all know the youngest person to ever have breast cancer. Do y'all know the age?
I think she was what?
11? Is it
10?
11 or
Baby
9?
is 5.
5. Oh, yeah, it
5?
was
Oh,
5.
wow.
Oh
I
my
thought it was
I
like
remember you
9,
said that.
5.
That
Yeah,
baby
I
is
remember you
5.
told me that.
Wow.
5 years old.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
sad. I'm gonna have to do
And
something
there's a
about
young
her.
lady that I follow through another I think she's 27, I think. It's a Black girl and a white girl. Both of them have had it since they were 18.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really sad. But anyway,
Yeah.
I thank everybody for coming on. Janelle, I hope you come back in
I
again.
will. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back.
Okay, so you're part of the group now.
I'm
You're
cool.
part of the
I'm cool with
group.
that.
Oh yes,
Okay.
it's just once a month, every second Thursday. We enjoyed having you.
What's
We
your
had a
Yeah.
lovely
Instagram,
I love the
conversation.
vibe. I love the vibe.
Oh,
Share your
yeah, I'm
Instagram,
sure
Janelle, and hers.
Tamika
Oh yeah,
and
let me show you my Instagram.
yeah, share them the Instagram. Her
Yes.
name is Ellie Vibes.
Okay.
Right?
It's
Is
what?
that it?
Ellie
It's
Vibes?
I'm already following her,
I
right?
just got it. Yeah, I'm following you,
Oh,
baby.
okay.
Ellie
L
Vibes.
Views.
Okay.
Okay.
Ellie, and then you'll see her name underneath it.
It's views, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
views.
it's
LViews.
views?
Oh,
I
okay,
don't know
okay.
why I kept saying vibes.
I'm like, wait a minute, I know I'm
All
reading.
right, all right. Okay, it's the chemo brain. Still fixing it every now and then. I ain't
Tisha,
gonna
I don't
deny
know
it.
if I saw yours either. And I don't
Oh,
have it at Tamika
Tamika
either.
put hers there. You
I don't
want to
have Tamika's
exchange
or
phone
Tisha.
numbers?
Oh,
Hold on. I'm gonna have to put mine in there.
I
I
have
know that.
Janelle's phone number. I have
I'm gonna
everybody's
go.
phone number. So,
I'm terrible with Instagram, y'all. I need to grow up a little bit. So y'all got to pardon me.
okay,
trying to do
we forgive
TikTok
you.
now. My daughter got me trying to do it. I'm like, this. I'm too old for this. I
Yeah,
can't do this.
Okay,
it's a
Yeah,
lot.
so
yeah, Tequila, especially now since you're the VP.
I know. I be trying to grow up. Oh, I be trying. I be just. Oh, look at her. Look at Miss Janelle on her looking like Rihanna.
Oh, come on now. You know.
I'm already following you. That's so funny. I'm already following you. And Tamika, yours is Tamika. Yeah, I'm already
to
following you on
me,
this.
yeah,
It's T.
you
Rich's
all,
sister.
yeah, and Tisha is imperfectly flawed and favored.
Wait, what's
Okay.
yours, Sequilla?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm T.
It's
Look, I ain't
That's
even.
hood.
imperfectly
That's hood
flawed
and
and
holistics.
That's me, hood and holistic.
Oh,
she,
okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
Now,
it's
Tamika,
Okay.
what
not
was yours again?
imperfectly flawed and flavored. Isn't it imperfectly perfect, right?
Oh,
No,
imperfectly
mine is
perfect.
imperfectly flawed and favored.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
her. Yeah.
Hood and,
oh,
hood and holistic.
That's
Yeah.
me,
yeah.
yeah, but it's
Okay.
spelled with a Y.
Wait a minute.
Imperfectly flawed and favored. I see you.
Oh,
Okay, I'm following you now. And then Tamika, what's yours? Tamika Breasty?
It's
Pink
pink breasted
breasty
sister.
sister.
Pink
oh, okay.
Breasty. I think I'm already following you though. I think
I
Pink
got
Breast.
Yeah, I'm already
got
following.
everybody.
Go
Okay,
ahead,
wait. What's
Tamika.
yours again? What's Rihanna's again?
Pink Breast.
Her
Oh,
is Ellie Views.
Wait, we
E-L-L.
already following each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I'm
already.
already following Ellie
Yeah,
Views.
Yeah,
I'm already following you.
So everybody is connected.
Janelle, I
yeah.
think you're talking to us. You stuck.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. Now
No,
you're going
that's
around.
Janelle with her camera going around the
Yeah, her
circle.
voice
It's
got
the
stuck
whole
too.
with
Now.
me.
Okay.
All right. So now that we've exchanged everything, I'm going to read my little thing. So if you see me looking, I'm reading.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay, so you gotta be quiet.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Resilience of Black Women Confronting Breast Cancer, stories that still need telling. If today's conversation touched a heart, inspired you, or gave you new insight, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. This fight is not over, and every voice matters, every story matters. Until next time, stay strong, stay hopeful, and remember, your story has the power to change lives.
I feel like I'm supposed to say amen.
Say, "Choo."
Amen.